A significant development here on the Daily Telegraph website with St George Illawarra terminating the $1 million contract of Ben Hunt. Now, Ben Hunt had 1 year remaining on his contract at the 2025 season. Now, we know if we go back, introducing Michael Carayannis, going back, a couple of weeks ago, the St George Illawarra Dragons gave Ben permission to negotiate for 2026 and beyond. But there was certainly no suggestion of letting him go for 25. However, that has taken a dramatic turn this morning.
Yeah, hello, Dave. Yeah, obviously a wild turn of events, and it's very rare you get to see a club captain and a club split like this. It's obviously been boiling for probably the last, 18 months, I'd say, Dave,
Yep.
where they've tried to keep a lid on this and try and ensure that this relationship was okay going forward, but it's reached breaking point over the past couple of weeks. We had the end of season review. We had Ben Hunt's comment saying, he doesn't think the club want me. The suggestion that Gutherson should come and play in the 5'8" spot, which is occupied by Kyle Flanagan, and you can read into that what you want. And the fact that he was adamant that he wanted to play on beyond next season, and the club weren't in a position to offer him anything. I think it's there's no doubt it's bitter. There's no doubt there's been a very public and private fallout between Ben Hunt and the Dragons, but I think this is the best decision for both parties.
There's no doubt that Ben Hunt has agitated this publicly. He's agitated through the media, spoken openly, because as you said, Mick, we don't see club captains speaking so openly and direct about his future at the club. And that is certainly what Ben Hunt has been doing over the last few weeks. Now, the big question here is for Saints fans is where to from here, both next year and beyond.
Yeah, and that's the question now, and that's probably been the Dragons' reluctance to let Ben Hunt go, because I think if they had a ready-made replacement over the past 12 months, we wouldn't have got to this situation, but they bit the bullet and shown him the door. Look, obviously Clint Gutherson's a name that's been floating around, and the Dragons are very keen to get him for 2025. Josh Adokar is still on the market. But that doesn't change their half situation. They need to go on the market and find half for 25, and that's extremely difficult to do. Who do you think will start in the halves next year for the Dragons?
Well, Mick, what I think will unfold here is player managers, they're shrewd. They know which clubs have the money. And right now, you would argue that the Dragons are the most cashed-up footy club going into the November 1 transfer market. And what that will do is, I think it'll agitate moves that we probably hadn't planned that would be forthcoming. Knowing that they've got $1 million to spend now, managers that is, knowing that the Dragons have got $1 million to spend, both next year and beyond, I think we'll see moves happen that, as I said, that may not necessarily have been there for Saints had they not made this call. Look, I think it's a really smart decision, because what it's done is we knew that Ben Hunt wasn't there in 26, so it's basically brought their plans 12 months earlier. And if they do need to maybe just have a bit of a tougher year next year, it puts them in a much better stead to enter the negotiation market and get their future halfback for a lot longer term. And I think it's a smart move. And as I said, I think they've created movement in the market by the fact that they've now got $1 million to spend.
Yeah, no doubt. And the question is, where does Ben Hunt end up as well? The Dolphins have been in the mix. There's whispers around the Broncos. There were some in Canterbury that have wanted him, and some others at the club that don't. So that's going to be a storyline as well over the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you would think that Ben Hunt is smart enough to have some type of option already sorted before agreeing to this effective release. It's been called a contract termination, a sacking, but it's a release of his contract. And as I said, it's $1 million. So you don't walk away from that without potentially something in your back pocket. I think the Dolphins are an obvious landing spot. My mail is the Dogs aren't that keen. So let's see how it unfolds. But it is a developing story. We're going to have it all on the Telegraph website. Stay on track. Stay up to date as this huge story unfolds.